It's May 2026, and we have officially reached the peak of the protein era. Look around you. We are putting protein in our water, our coffee, our morning cereal, and even our snack bars. Supermarket aisles are completely flooded with bold labels screaming 30 grams of protein, straight at your face. The cultural narrative is simpler than it has ever been. If you want to look lean, feel youthful, lose weight, and avoid aging, you need to eat more protein. More, and more. But while millions of well-meaning Americans are busy counting every single gram and obsessing over their macro trackers, a new wave of rigorous, independent scientific research is quietly dropping a bombshell. The message: your body might be whispering a completely different story. And if you don't slow down to listen, you might be trading your long-term cellular survival for short-term visual gains. Seriously, if protein were a Hollywood celebrity right now, it would have more followers than the top 5 internet influencers combined. It's reached a point where if a food doesn't have a high protein badge on it, we treat it like it's radioactive. But let's be real for a second. Popularity has never been synonymous with basic biological truth. You are doing this because you genuinely care. You want to stay strong, you want to keep your metabolism firing, you want to walk down the street with energy, look in the mirror with confidence, and let's be totally honest with ourselves. You don't want to feel frail or old when you hit 50, 60, or 70. You want to maximize your health span. But what if the very dietary protocol you think is protecting your muscles is actually stepping on the accelerator pedal of your internal biological clock? Today we are moving past the loud, aggressive bro science, the corporate marketing budgets, and the social media noise. We are looking at exactly what the freshest clinical data says about protein for your heart, your kidneys, your metabolism, and your future self. Stick with me through this deep dive, because by the end of this video, you will realize that the human body's Goldilocks zone for protein is much narrower than the internet wants you to believe. And missing it might be costing you the very longevity you are trying to buy. In fact, we are starting with a massive study released just days ago that completely flips the script on what healthy aging looks like. Let's dive into the first hidden truth. Let's look at the data that shook the nutritional science community just this year. In early 2026, major independent updates building on research from Stanford Medicine and the University of Sydney dropped a collective bombshell on the fitness world. For decades, the standard dietary advice in the United States was to radically scale up protein as we cross into our 40s and 50s. But when researchers tracked adults who consistently overconsumed animal-based protein, they observed a staggering biological phenomenon: an accelerated advancement in their biological age. Now, what exactly does that mean? Your chronological age is the number on your driver's license. Your biological age, however, is a measurement of how fast your cells are actually decaying at a microscopic level. Imagine waking up on your 60th birthday, looking in the mirror, and knowing with absolute medical certainty that your internal organs, your blood vessels, and your cellular repair mechanisms are functioning with the youthful vigor of a 45-year-old. That is the holy grail of health span. But the 2026 data revealed that nonstop excessive animal protein intake did the exact opposite. It kept the biological clock ticking faster, pushing cells into a state of premature exhaustion. Why? Because your body is not a garbage disposal where you can just throw unlimited resources and expect it to magically sort it out. It is a highly finely tuned engine. If you constantly throw fuel into a furnace that is already full, you don't get a bigger fire. You get a system clogged with soot and smoke. And speaking of internal smoke, to truly understand why this happens, we have to look past the macro scale and peer inside the literal power plants that keep you alive every single second. Welcome to your mitochondria. These are the tiny, hardworking cellular power plants inside your muscles, your brain, and your heart. Their primary job is to take the food you eat and convert it into ATP, the pure currency of human energy. But fascinating metabolic studies show that a chronic overload of dietary protein forces these microscopic power plants to work in overdrive. When mitochondria are continuously pushed past their structural capacity to process amino acids, they begin to suffer from what biochemists call electron leakage. They start emitting a biological version of toxic smoke. reactive oxygen species, or ROS. Think of ROS as tiny wrecking balls bouncing inside your cells, damaging walls, and tearing at DNA strands. Ever feel brain fog an hour after a massive steak? That isn't a food coma, it's acute oxidative stress. Your internal power plants are overheating. Flooding your body with protein just because a fitness tracker told you to is like trying to charge a smartphone with a bolt of lightning. It fries the delicate battery. This chronic overheating triggers transcriptional stress, forcing your long genes, the biological emergency brakes against aging and chronic disease, to go completely quiet. It is heartbreaking. You spend hard-earned money on premium meats, but that overload signals your cells to halt routine cellular cleanup. Science is not saying go vegan. 2026 data shows the ultimate winners practice a strict 70-30 plant-to-animal ratio. Getting 70% of your protein from whole plants like lentils or chickpeas creates a magical buffer, slowing amino acid absorption and protecting your mitochondria. Navigating the source is only half the battle. Extreme protein intake introduces renal hyperfiltration, forcing your kidneys to work at maximum capacity nonstop. This is incredibly urgent with the rise of GLP-1 weight loss medications in the US, where people scale up protein but forget to hydrate. Without intense water intake, you force your delicate kidney filters to process thick sludge instead of water, scarring them for the future. Protein is a foundational building block of life, but the more is better culture is a dangerous illusion. To protect your longevity, adopt the Precision Protein Protocol. First, practice nutritional cycling. Scale your protein up on intense strength training days and scale it down on rest days to turn off the mTOR growth switch and allow your cells to take out the trash. Second, honor the 70-30 rule by prioritizing plant proteins. Third, double your hydration to flush your renal filters. Stop listening to the loudest fitness voices and start listening to your cells. But protein is only half the story. There is another massively popular healthy supplement Americans are taking every morning that completely neutralizes these longevity benefits. We are exposing it in 48 hours. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the warning, and we'll see you in the next video.